Hey everyone, Susan Black here.
I'm Pete Black.
If you notice, my hair is kind of short. Got my hair cut today, and I'm not getting another one for 9 weeks. The girl that cuts my hair, so excited for her. She's going to be having a baby and going on maternity leave, so I'll have quarantine hair again pretty soon. But I got my hair cut today. And you got your hair cut on Friday.
Yeah, so that's been about
You've had two. You had one home haircut. For quarantine. That was the first time back to the barber.
But the neighbor did the first haircut,
right.
And then after that,
It was your first trip back to the barber,
right.
On Friday.
And it's completely different now.
Well, yeah, the barbershop, usually you walk in, but now you have to make an appointment,
Right.
And you were the only one in the shop, and
The only
client.
Client.
And then you wore masks.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So, but today, that's kind of what I still wanted to talk about is about the quarantine and COVID, and we're seeing the numbers are really quite severe and significant for the state of Alabama. That, New York went through a terrible time in the beginning. California, Texas was really struggling.
California is going bad too.
Right, and they're having a second wave. So, when you first go under quarantine, it's kind of like a snow day, and it's like, oh, cool, you get to stay at home, do stuff. After a while, it kind of wears on you. You get to the point, when's enough? And I know for the safety of everybody, this is what we have to do. But for our mental health too, it's dragging on so long that I'm starting to struggle. I mean, you struggle from time to time. I'm missing people. You can talk on the phone with them, you can Zoom, you can have FaceTime. We have gotten together with our family, which has been great. But other than that, what's to get you up and get excited in the morning? Now, if you have to work, you're going to work. You're out of the camera, darling.
No, it's getting stuff out of
But, what motivates you after a while? And that's kind of the point that I'm at, is I want to do what I can to keep people safe. But my gosh, I need to get back to some sort of a routine or semblance of life. Now, before all this hit, Pete and I were doing some day trips and some traveling around the state of Alabama, which was great. We really enjoyed doing that. And I would love to continue to do that and do outdoor things. But in Alabama, that's hard to do. The end of July, heat index is 110. It's hard to be outside for very long. So what I would encourage everybody to do, and this is kind of a surprise for Pete, he doesn't know the whole thing. He knows I'm taking him on a field trip on Sunday. But I've been looking at a book with different trips. I think it's like 54 trips, day trips in Alabama, different things. And some of them we won't be able to do until after the quarantine is listed. But there's some things I'm starting to reach out and contact the organizations about and ask what their safety precautions are during the quarantine. If there's a time that we could visit that wasn't as crowded as other times. And so I went ahead, and for this coming Sunday, I had contacted the Cook Museum out in Decatur. And I think it was about a little over a year ago, they completely revamped this museum. And it's supposed to be wonderful as far as having Cook's is a pest control company here in North Alabama, and it kind of started off, I think, they had different insects and different things like that they had kept in a collection over the years, and they kind of made like a little tiny museum, and the kids went there when they were in elementary school. But this is totally different. From what I understand, they have an aquarium now, and they have several different things. So I reached out to them and said, what can we do? And they said that Sundays are not very crowded. And so I went ahead and have bought tickets already online that we're going to go Sunday, first thing when they open up at noon. And we'll keep our social distancing from other people. We're not going to touch anything. We're not going to do hands-on displays. But I need to get out. I need to do something. I need to stimulate my mind a little bit more, because otherwise the only time we go out is to Walmart and to Sam's. And I'm sorry, but that's not mind stimulating. It can be quite amusing at times, but it's not mind stimulating. So what did you want to share about all this? How are you doing during the quarantine?
Well, we've got
Come in the camera. Come in the camera.
we've got a halfway decent yard, so I've been taking care of that.
But it's
and
hot.
trying to, yeah, it is. But I can also get that stuff so it's ready for when it does get cooler
Yeah.
again.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff I'd
can-
like to do in the yard too, but I just
Yeah.
gotta wait till it gets a little bit cooler.
What I really miss though is one of our dogs really likes to go on walks. And she's just a small little thing, but it's
It's too hot. The pavement's hot. It's not
yeah,
safe for the dogs
it's-
either.
Right. So
Even if you go first thing in the morning, one of our friends had said that they went out to try to beat the heat. They took their dog for a walk on Saturday at 5:30 in the morning, and it was still hot. So it's just hard. But what is everybody doing? What are you doing to keep yourself from going crazy? To keep yourself socially stimulated, mentally stimulated? I'll post it on this afterwards, but I did this little bingo game. It was called COVID Bingo, and it's all the different things that you possibly have done during the quarantine. And
hopefully not the bad stuff.
no, on the bingo card, I have already gotten, with all the ups, downs, and all that kind of stuff, I've already gotten 6 bingos and have almost completed my entire card. I think I was missing 2 or 3 things. One was I was exercising more. Yeah, that didn't happen. One of them was I took up a new hobby. Yeah, that hasn't happened. But that's probably something I need to do if somebody will help me. What are some hobbies that you've taken up? But I have played quarantine COVID bingo. I have bingoed 6 times. I'm tired. I don't want to play anymore. I need something new. I need something different. So what are all you doing to keep yourself just mentally active, to be stimulated, to weather this quarantine? Because it looks like we got a long ways to go yet. I did the bread breaking. I did bread making in the beginning, and that was pretty good, and I might need to go back and try out some new recipes, but then
Yeah,
that
that's good
kind of contradicts the whole thing, the whole weight gain and the COVID. So but anyhow, let us know what you're doing. We need some more ideas, but we are going to go out to the Cook Museum on Sunday, so that'll be good. And I'm also checking into, did you know that Athens State has in Athens, Alabama, has a hall called Founders Hall. And in the hall on the 2nd floor, I found that they have life-size carvings. Oh, I forgot what kind of wood it was, but they're all out of wood, and they're all biblical people, the wise men, Jesus. But they have all these carvings. They're just in this room, and they're life-size. And I'm not sure if they're open because of COVID, but I'm going to check with them, because that might be just something neat to do, is to drive out to Athens, it's not that far, and go see these carvings of biblical people. So that's another thing that we're thinking about doing. So is there anything that you want to do while we're...
I'm just glad I had some hair chopped off of my head last week. That's good.
Yep, nothing like a good haircut. So anyhow, let us have some ideas. Let us know what you're doing to keep yourself occupied during the quarantine. I want everybody out there to be safe, to continue to wear your masks and to hand wash, because I think a lot of times until you know somebody personally who's been affected by COVID, you don't really think it's a big deal. But while I was getting my haircut today, another lady came in and she was sharing that herself, her 3 children, her brother-in-law, her mother, and her sister all had COVID. And they have been quarantining now just continuously as one gets sick and it goes on. And none of them had an extreme case, except for the husband. He was had a fever for 13 days straight. So as an adult, you feel pretty awful. So he didn't feel very, very good. But they said other than that, the kids seemed to do well with it. And she said that if it hadn't have been for her mother and the extreme case that her mother had from COVID, she would have thought that COVID was being overblown. And you do hear people talking about that on social media, that it's not that big of a deal, it's nothing different than the flu.
Try it.
That's what she was kind of sharing, is the fact that everybody is affected differently. And while her and the kids, it was kind of a mild inconvenience, except for they had to quarantine for so long, her mom was very, very sick. So it's real, even though it hasn't affected maybe you personally. So we need to do our part and stay safe. But in the meantime, when is enough is enough? We're going crazy here. So help us with some ideas. So until we meet again, remember to enjoy your journey.
And be careful.
That's right.